you talk about the psychology of the voice, what is that? Can you help explain that a little bit?
Yes. When we think about voice coaching, people automatically think about things like, oh, I was in choir in high school, or, oh, yes, I
Hmm.
need to slow down, or maybe I should pause. And all of that is true. But my body of work started when I really understood that I could hear sounds in a certain way. And I was actually a dialect specialist in the early years of my career, and I became obsessed with dialects. Why did the Irish sound Irish and I sound Texan? I want to sound Irish. And so I became a researcher of voice very early on. And in that fascination and research around dialects, I discovered that the subconscious actually puts the voice in. We can talk about vocal cords and diaphragm breathing. We can do that all day long. But the truth of the matter is, every human has sounds in their voice that come from what I call voice stories that started before they were 5. Literally, my research shows me one phrase like, "Why are you so loud?" can affect how you use your voice the rest of your life. So the psychology of the voice is what is happening subconsciously, what is happening in your mind that created the voice that you work with that is not being maximized. Our voice is our greatest, most underutilized asset. And so we can look at this from a technical perspective, but until we look at it from the subconscious psychological perspective, we can't shift how you're using your voice.
So what does that mean, that the dialect comes from the subconscious? Can
So,
can you
yes, I
help me understand that a little bit?
yes. So I'm trying to figure out, why do they sound Irish? You know, it hit me one day. I'm thinking, why don't we all have the same dialect? Why is that? And I taught dialects a certain way. I did not teach dialects through hearing. A lot of times, well, most dialect teachers teach through hearing. What does it sound like? Repeat the sound, repeat the sound, repeat the sound. My work was about shift the placement. And what that means is the point of resonance where I'm shooting my sound to. So I'm from Texas. You can probably hear that in my voice. My point of placement is further back. But an Irish point of placement is an inch out of the mouth. So I can shoot my words out and I can become Irish just like that. I shifted the placement of how I'm holding my face. And I thought, okay, how does that happen? And what I realized in the deep dive on that was sense of belonging. The Irish baby, yes, hears the sound of the Irish parent, but the subconscious tells the placement, basically tells the face how to hold itself to create that dialect, because the Irish baby needs to fit into the Irish family. Now, as a Texas baby, if I started rattling off in an Irish dialect, that would be weird, and that could affect my sense of belonging. So the subconscious number one goal is to protect our heart. Our voice is the orchestra of our heart. So the subconscious is already working to create belonging by how we use our voice before we even use our voice.